Hi and welcome back to my channel. I'm Rick Gannon, a UK-based property investor and landlord, and my channel is all about sharing the reality of the things that property investors get up to and sharing best practice when it comes to looking after tenants. Now on this video, I want to explain to you and dispel a few rumours about when a landlord or a management company can enter your property, what's lawful and what isn't lawful. Now, a lot of my videos, I get a lot of comments with people saying you can't just enter the property, you need to do this, you need to do that, you're breaking the law. I'm not breaking the law on any of my videos, folks, and I want to explain to you how my property portfolio is put together. So first of all, let's talk about AST contracts. That's assured short hold tenancy agreements. So if you are a tenant and you are an individual person, i.e. not a company, if the landlord doesn't live at the property, if you have exclusive occupation to at least a part of the property, so that could cover a HMO room, and it's your main or principal residence, then you should only be given an AST contract. If you're given a license and then the landlord expects you to sign it and you are a tenant, then it doesn't matter, because in a court of law, it will always be deemed as an AST contract. Now, part of that contract will give you lots of different things, lots of different pieces of legislation and clauses. Now, there's two clauses in your contract. One will be the right to quiet enjoyment, and the second one will be exclusive occupation. So everybody that's saying you can't just go and enter somebody's bedroom without giving them notice and without them accepting that you could go and do an inspection is correct, absolutely correct. So let's talk about shared houses. So a shared house is when you've got 3 or more people forming more than one household. Now, if you sign an AST contract for a shared house, if it's an individual contract, not a group contract. So if you don't, like a group of students, they'll generally sign one agreement, whereas individuals, that's not a student house, will generally sign an agreement individually. So if it's in an individual agreement, as part of that contract, you will have the right to quiet enjoyment of your room and exclusive occupation of your room. So in my HMOs, if I want to go into any of the tenants' bedrooms for whatever reason, unless it's an emergency, then I will need to tell them, either write to them, depending on what it says in the contract on how we deliver notice, or send them an email giving them at least 24 hours notice of an inspection. Now, the tenant will have to agree. If they say, no, you can't come in, then you can't go in unless you go to court and get a possession order. But I would always say, why wouldn't you let your landlord in anyway? Unless you're doing something wrong. So that's the exclusive occupation. So what about the rest of the property? Well, in a licensed HMO, the communal areas, unless it's on one contract for everybody, doesn't normally include the exclusive occupied area. So it does mean that you can actually go into any of the communal areas in a shared house without giving any notice to any of the tenants. But why would you? If it's a house and you're going to go in there, then it would be very courteous for you just to tell the tenants that you're going into the property. Now, the other element is quiet enjoyment. So as part of the contract, quiet enjoyment means just that. You've got the right to quiet enjoyment, which means that your landlord or your management agency can't be going in every 10 or 15 minutes. Now, whilst it looks like on my videos, I'm always at the properties, well, I'm always at a property, but we have a lot of properties in our business. So I am always at a property. And rest assured, folks, every single time that we do a visit, if we go into anyone's rooms or any exclusively occupied areas, the tenants are always given 24 hours notice. You may see some videos, if I'm opening the door with a key, I always knock first. The tenant will always say, yes, come in. And if so, sometimes, it might mean that I have to unlock the door, but it's all done legitimately. And it's all done within the realms of the Housing Act. So under what circumstances can you go into a tenant's room without their permission? Only if it's an emergency. And if it's an emergency, then that would be very subjective as to what that emergency is. But for example, if there's a leak coming from that room going into another room, if there's a leak going into that room, if there's some kind of security issue whereby there's a window that needs replacing or it's been smashed, any risk to the tenant, any electrical fault or any tripping of any power that's coming from that room, all of those things could be deemed as an emergency, and that would be very subjective, and it would be up to the landlord or the management company to prove that it was an emergency, and that's why they decided to gain entry. So just to recap, HMOs, houses in multiple occupation, which 95% of my portfolio comprises of, all of our tenants have exclusive occupation just for the room. And if I need to go in those rooms, I do need to give 24 hours notice, and I do need to get consent from the tenant. I don't need permission to go into any of the communal areas. If it's a block of flats, it would be very similar. The tenancy would be for the flat. It won't be for the cellars. It won't be for the communal areas. It won't be for the hallways and the landings, etc. The exclusive occupation would just be for the flat. So those are the rules, folks. In England, thank you for watching. I do hope you enjoy my videos. I've got loads more coming. So if you like the fly on the wall style videos of me going around doing inspections, coupled with property educational content, please do subscribe to my channel. It really helps. We are growing massively here at the moment, and it is going to be my main focus for the rest of the year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And look at those views, George. Look. Pretty stunning. Yeah, really nice. Now, the gardens on this property are all maintained. We've got a gardener that is dedicated just for this property because there's so much to do. All of the hedges, the trees, the grass, the conifers. If you leave it literally just 2 or 3 months, it gets really, really messy. Right, let's go and have a look. Been here long. We can't go into any of the rooms, so come on in. So one of the big things when we come into this property is those stunning stained glass windows. Well, it's warm in here the minute you walk in, isn't it? You know, those stained glass windows are beautiful. Used to be an old vicarage, this property. This is crazy because this never worked. And then all of a sudden, as soon as we got the heating fixed up, it started to come on. And it's not gas, it's just a little convection heater. Right, so nice and warm. That's one of the heaters that we provided with the tenants when the heating was down. We do need the heaters back because we have to put them back into stock. Lovely and warm. Nice. It's not red hot to touch, you know, it doesn't have to be, does it? Lovely, yeah, toasty. So have a little look at the bathrooms while we're here. So some of these flats have got shared bathrooms, some of them are self-contained, but just, you know, nice flooring, nice tidy shower room, nice and clean. Same with the little toilet there. Another little toilet here. Right, really pleased. Nice and toasty, which is how it should be. Right, so we're going to get the keys to go into the laundry room. Oh, this is another little shower room that we did since we've been here. It's quite nice. That wasn't like that when we came in. When we came in, it was just one big space. So we put the shower room in. We put the new shower unit in. And just tidied it up a little bit, really. It's not too bad. Let me know what you think of the property, folks, in the comments. You know, it's I can't show you any of the rooms, sadly, because they're all occupied, which is good. It's good for us. Right, is it landlord 1 or 2, George? Nice and warm now, though. This always causes controversy, always, every time I post it. Now, this property is not all-inclusive of bills. What happens is the individual flats are sub-metered, which means that we've got one supply coming into the building, and then each flat's sub-metered, and then we charge 27 pence per kilowatt hour, which is what we pay.